All I have for you is a word. Tenet. It'll open the right doors, some of the wrong ones, too.
And that is Tenet, the first blockbuster to hit theaters in months. Movie theater chains are really banking on it to bring back the crowds. Now, Canadians can already catch the film, but it will not open until next week in the U.S. CBC's Eli Glasner is on the story live from Toronto. You've got your review. I always look forward to this. Christopher Nolan, everybody knows his name. What's he trying to do with Tenet, Eli?
It feels like he's auditioning to make a Bond film. It really has some of those elements, the kind of international aspects, all the various locations, covert agents fighting this shadowy conspiracy. But because it's Christopher Nolan, it's also his anti-Bond in that it's not sexy, it's not glamorous, it's cool, it's calculating, it's precise. And at the middle of all of that precision, there he is John David Washington, son of Denzel Washington as the protagonist. Now, I'm not just describing him. That's what he calls himself. He's listed in the credits as the protagonist. And I think that says so much about Nolan in that he doesn't even need to name his main character. He is a piece of the puzzle that he is conceiving. Now, what is this protagonist doing? Well, he is fighting these forces that appear to have the ability to alter time itself. Let's take a look.
To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
As I understand it, we're trying to prevent World War III.
I'm not saying Armageddon here.
No. Something worse.
Now, what could be worse than that? Well, something that alters the very building blocks of our existence. It's called time inversion. It's a little complicated, so I'm going to hand it over to the experts to explain.
Time travel.
No. Inversion.
Aim it and pull the trigger. You're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it.
Whoa. Well, I've seen too much.
Well, we'll try and keep up.
Yeah, try to keep up is right. Let's take a little more look at Robert Pattinson because he's a lot of fun. He plays this character named Neil, a wonderful kind of nonchalant attitude, and yet look at what he plans for a distraction.
You want to crash a plane?
But not from the air. No, it's so dramatic.
Well, how big a plane?
That part is a little dramatic.
It's such an interesting contradiction because you've got John David Washington, who is very kind of dispassionate and focused and all about the job, and then Robert Pattinson, who's playing the next Batman as this character who is so kind of laissez-faire and nonchalant, even though he's very capable. Almost a bit of kind of a Sean Connery throwback to that character, I think.
And we've certainly waited a long time for Tenet, Eli. I mean, there were high expectations. This is the big question, though. Was it worth the wait? Was it worth the risk?
The risk is a personal thing. I'll leave it between, you and the audience. But I was underwhelmed. I wanted more. I feel like once I kind of cracked that puzzle, it was a little hollow inside. I will say, just in terms of the visual quality, what Christopher Nolan has done here is remarkable because you look at some of the stunts, you look at some of the sequences, and what really separates him as a filmmaker is that he doesn't fake anything. When he talks about a plane, the plane smashes into the building. He films those highway chases. He's using hundreds of extras for an attack in a concert hall. But even as that is so impressive, the plot, I felt lost at times. I felt like I was being defeated by the increasing complexity of the storytelling. The one thing that I hung on to were some of the performances. In particular, there's a villain, Kenneth Branagh as Andre, a Russian arms dealer. You want to talk about a special effect? It's his simmering sense of arrogance. Here's a quick look.
This is where our worlds collide.
How would you like to die?
Old.
You chose the wrong profession.
Now there you go. Like, he's at a 2, and Suhana, he brings it to a 12. That's the kind of fire, that's the kind of heart that I was missing. I mean, when you have a plot that's as complicated as this, you need some characters to grasp onto. And John Washington's role it's all about duty and precision, but I was missing that heart, that angst. So in the end, this is an immaculately filmed production, but was missing something inside. And so I'll leave you by quoting one of the scientists who says, "You can't understand it, you just feel it." There you go, 3.5 stars out of 5.
All right. Thanks, Eli. That's CBC's Eli Glasner in Toronto.